Yes, you. Welcome to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast, a podcast for people who want to disrupt their lives for a good reason, to make it count. I'm your host, Jen Glantz, and every week I'll drop a new episode with stories from real people just like you, who woke up one morning and decided to make big changes, starting with small things. We'll cover topics like entrepreneurship, love, failure, and self-care. Hey, you're not getting any younger, so let's make this an adventure. Ready? This episode is brought to you by finallythebride.com. If you didn't know, I am getting married this year, but the problem is I am the worst at making decisions. I've been to so many weddings on my own. I need your help. Finally the Bride is a project I launched a couple of months ago after getting engaged, where strangers can come on the website and vote on all different things. There are new polls released on the first of the month, and the cool thing is I am writing about the entire experience, so you can check out how things are unfolding. I release a new chapter of the book every single month, so head to the website, vote your heart away, and sign up to get the book. It drops in your inbox on the 15th of the month with a new chapter inside. Finallythebride.com. Help me plan this wedding, especially because in 2020, everything's gotten weird. So come hang out there. It's been a while since I have updated you on things, but one of the things I've been keeping a secret for quite some time, you might have seen on my Instagram, I broke the news a little while ago, is that right before this quarantine thing happened and we were sheltering in place, I got a puppy. And it was a pretty big deal because right before we got the puppy, I freaked out. I was like, this is going to change my life. We did a pro-con list. It was honestly one of the only times in my life we did a pro-con list. I'm a very stubborn person, so usually when I make decisions, I know very soon what I'm drawn toward, what I'm attracted to. But in this case, it's like you're adopting something that you're taking care of, and that freaked me out. So we did a whole pro-con list, and the cons were very open and honest. I wrote in 5 different ways. I'm selfish, because I am. You know, a lot of the reasons why I was scared to get a puppy was that it would change my life. I can barely remember to feed myself 3 meals a day, and now I'm going to be responsible for this living thing. And I like to pack up and go. You know, unusual circumstances, I fly 50 to 70 times a year. So having a dog would change that, or would just make us be more creative with our decisions. So it freaked me out, and my con list was all of that. So we spent a couple of days really deliberating back and forth of whether or not this was a good idea. And all of a sudden, on like a Wednesday afternoon, Adam and I were like, let's just go. And we got the dog, we brought the puppy home, and her name is Goofy, Goofy, like the Disney character, but not named after the Disney character. I'm not a big Disney person, but that's her name for many reasons. One of the reasons is that when we were in California, I met this dog, and the dog's name was Goofy, and I loved that name. Plus, when Adam and I first started dating and he would write about me on social media, he would call me his goofball, and I loved that nickname. And finally, if you look up what Goofy means, it means being eccentric, and I love that. And that's just really her personality. I mean, she has quite the reputation around Brooklyn as a party girl. She loves to play with other dogs and jump on people. No, she's not trained at all. That's on our to-do list. But it's been a couple of months, and she is the light of my life. I really mean that. I mean, it's hard. It's hard work. Everyone says getting a dog is hard, but they don't actually tell you what that means. So I didn't believe them, but it is hard. I mean, every morning at 5:30 a.m., we pop out of bed, we go for a walk. The walks aren't easy. She wants to get in trouble. All throughout the day, you have to keep an eye on her. You have to make sure she eats, she walks, she doesn't get in trouble. And then you're on calls and you're working and you have to keep an eye on her. So it's hard. But I'm not going to complain. There are people listening who have kids, which I could imagine to be 1,000 million times harder. But it's definitely giving me an education on caring about something other than myself, which that's a whole other podcast episode, but I needed that education, and I probably needed it fast. I've lived 32 years of my life caring about me, of course, caring about Adam and family and friends, but really feeling responsible for me. And now I've taken on a burden of somebody else. And yeah, it's scary. It's frightening. It's a lot. It's exhausting. If you saw my eyes, we're 2 months in, my eyes have huge bags under them. That never happened. It's because I probably only sleep about 4 hours, but it's amazing and it's worth it. And it does teach you a whole new side of love. So that's a big update. I also had a birthday. I officially turned 32 on April Fool's Day. That was great. I had my 2 favorite things, which was pizza and a Carvel ice cream cake. And even though we couldn't really go out, we couldn't do anything, it felt like any other birthday. For a while, I've really been trying to celebrate my birthdays solo. I like the idea of sitting down with yourself and recapping the year and making some big changes. And on that day, I had some really serious conversations with myself about what the next year would look like. You know, you might see me on social media and think that everything is really great in my life, and a lot is. I'm grateful for a lot, but of course I'm hard on myself. I don't think I would have been this successful if I was easy on myself. So I look at a lot of the things I've done, and of course I say, it's not enough. It's not where I want to be. You know, I'm 32, and I don't believe in timelines, but of course I always want to be doing more than I currently am doing, and that's a tough thing to sort of wrestle with. So I love spending my birthday having those conversations where I just unpack who I am and what I want and what I haven't done and level up. And I write it down in a notebook. And that's probably the best part of my birthday, honestly, that and the pizza and the Carvel cake. And of course, spending it with Goofy and Adam, my quarantine pals. If you don't know what Goofy looks like and you want to see what she looks like, she looks pretty goofy. And you can see her on my Instagram at Jen Glantz. Come hang out there. Give her some love. I mean, if you ever need a bit of joy in your life, DM me. I'll send you a video of Goofy. She does some very crazy, weird, funny things throughout the day. So if you're ever feeling down and you need a smile, I have somebody who I think can help you out with that. On today's episode, I want to talk about purpose. I want to talk about reason why. You know, we talk a lot about goal setting and having goals, and that's great, but goals are just words on paper. Nothing in your life will change if you don't have a reason why you're doing it. Like, why do you care about this goal? And if you know me, you hear me speak all the time about running. I'm obsessed with running now. Could hardly run a mile a couple of months ago. Now I'm running 5. Hopefully by the end of May, I run 6. My goal was to run a 10K, which is 6.2, I think, miles. For Memorial Day for a race, but that race was canceled. So I already put a calendar invite on my calendar. I'm going to run that race alone. But here's the thing I learned when I run. If you don't have a strong reason why you are out there putting your feet to the pavement and going the distance, you won't do it. You will stop. So for a while, I was running 2 miles and it was hard, and I ran 2 miles for a month. Like that's the longest distance I would go. But in order for me to go to the 3rd mile or the 4th mile or at a 5th mile, I had to commit to it mentally. The thing about running or even accomplishing most goals in your life is that there isn't going to be a cheering squad cheering you on. It's literally just you. So if you don't have a strong purpose, you'll quit. And nobody will hold you accountable, and it's nobody's job to hold you accountable. That's your job. There are plenty of times when I'm running and in mile 3, I say, you know what, if I stopped right now and walked home, nobody would know. I can still post on social media. I can still, brag that I ran 5 miles when really I ran 3. Nobody's going to know. But it's not about anybody else. And it's not about what people think about you. It's about you finishing your goals because you have a strong reason why. So ask yourself, when you set a goal, why do you want this so badly? I run because, and my why is that when I run, I feel really strong. And I love that feeling of being strong. And right now, when I'm home, I don't feel that way because this isn't the life I'm used to living. I'm not used to living in one place and sitting still. I'm traveling all the time. I'm doing a million things. I'm, all over the place. And for the past 60-something days, I have been stuck. I don't feel as strong as I used to. But when I run, I feel strong. When I run and I go the distance and my body starts to adapt and adjust and I feel good, I feel like I can do hard things, which is something I have to continuously remind myself is, Jen, you can do really hard things. You just don't remember that every day. When I run, my mind feels cleared. I think about everything, positive things. I think about life, but it feels better than sitting on the couch swallowing all of this. When quarantine first happened, a lot of crazy things also happened. I lost a lot of jobs. One of my businesses is in the wedding industry, so that sort of was put on pause for a little bit. Another big job I had fell through in like a really ugly way and the wrong way. Like the person did not handle it well, and it just really hurt my heart deeply. So a lot of things happened, and I started to feel really bad for myself. And that's not the kind of person I am. I'm a really tough person, but for the first couple of weeks, I felt really bad, and I didn't get a lot done. I didn't accomplish a lot. I just felt really bad. And when I started running more, I started clearing my mind. I started thinking about things. Ideas popped up. You know, people tell me all the time, and I feel this way too, the best ideas happen when you're in the shower, but even better ideas honestly happen when you're running. And it's because you're putting your body into motion. And when you think about something else, your mind goes off of everything. So it helps me clear my mind, and I need that. It helps me feel good, and I need that, because sitting at home does not do that for me all of the time either. I'm not a Netflix person, a TV person. Like, that's not what I do. I think I watch like one television show a year, and here I am, and that's what I'm doing the most of these days. So running has sort of set me free and helped me breathe and all of these really positive things. But if I don't have those strong whys, I'll stop running. And there are some times when my body is like, you know, Jen, it could be great to stop right now, but I keep pushing on. So you write down goals, and maybe you're the kind of person who writes down goals all of the time. One of the ways I've stopped feeling bad for myself is that I have a sticky note on my desk with my goals for the month of May. And I look at them every single day. Here's what I want to accomplish. But that's not enough, because again, it's just words on paper. So I have to write down my why. Hey, Jen, why do you want to get 6 new coaching clients? And why do you want to launch this personal branding course? And if the why is not strong enough, those things won't happen. So not only do you have to write down goals, but you have to write down your purpose, your reason, your why. And then that's what you have to focus on. So when you get out of bed in the morning and you have a huge thing you have to take care of, let your purpose drive you. And you'll find that not only is it easier for you to accomplish those things, but now you have a purpose to do them, and to do them right, and to do them well. And sometimes that helps you achieve things faster. It also helps you check yourself when you have imposter syndrome, because now you start to think, okay, well, yeah, I set this hefty goal for myself, but my why is that I know I can do it. And when I do it, I know I'm going to feel good. So it allows you to stop talking yourself out of accomplishing goals you know you want and you know you deserve. So I leave you with that this episode. What are you chasing after right now? And look, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be running that sixth mile. It could be getting a new job. Maybe it could even be asking your landlord for a discount in rent. What are you chasing after right now? And why does it matter to you? And I promise you, if that why is your honest truth, if your why is that reason, then not only are you going to chase after it and you're going to work really hard for it, but you're not going to back down. You're going to find a way to keep going even when the world isn't watching you. Because that's not the purpose of goals. The purpose of goals is not that finish line where someone's holding flowers with a sign with your name. The purpose of goals is for you to run that finish line and then think to yourself, yeah, I knew all along this was going to happen. This is what I worked for. Until next time, all my love, Jen Glantz. Hey, you. Thank you for listening to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast. There are hundreds of thousands of pods out there, so thank you for listening to this one. You can find the show notes for this week's episode up on our website, anyyounger.com. Subscribe, rate, and review the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast on iTunes so that other ears around the world can listen too. Oh, and join our secret You're Not Getting Any Younger Facebook group, where over 1,000 people are talking about how to disrupt their lives, for a good reason, to make it count. Until next week, all my love, Jen Glantz.